I'm Katie Sewell, and this is A Bittersweet Moment with Tiffany Parks.
Hello and welcome to The Bittersweet Life. I'm Tiffany Parks, and this is your midweek Bittersweet Moment. If you listened to Monday's episode, you will have heard a whole bunch of sounds from our listeners sent in after we asked them, what are the sounds that mean something to you? What are the sounds that you love, not for how they sound, but because what they signify or what they mean is about to happen? If you haven't listened to that episode yet, make sure you go back and listen to it because it really is a wonderful collection of snapshots from our listeners around the world and the sounds that they notice and that they love. A few weeks ago on a mini episode, Katie brought you the sounds of her office. And today, since we are on a sound kick, I'm going to send you a few sounds from my daily life. Nothing particularly Italy heavy. I'm not going to be going into the center of Rome today. I'm not going to be doing a tour, but a typical day in my life in which I am working from home, hanging out with Aurelio, doing that kind of thing. These are the sounds that I might encounter. The very first sound is one that you will have heard if you listen to our sound episode, but because it's so special to me and it signifies the start of my day, I'm going to play it again. Good morning.
Good morning, Mommy.
My next sound is not quite so heartwarming, and it is also not a particularly nice sound, but it is a sound that I hear every single morning. So I feel that I have to include it. It's also very specific to Italy. Me opening up my shutters in the morning. In Italy, almost every home has blackout shutters. It's one of those amazing things that until you have it, you don't know how you ever lived without it. Older homes might have actual swinging shutters, but newer homes like mine have these, they're called serrande. They're long horizontal planks of metal or plastic, and sometimes they're pulled by a hand crank. Other times they're electric like mine, and you just open them up in the morning and your windows are completely open and you close them at night and it can be as dark as pitch if that's what you want. Now, it wouldn't be a Bittersweet Life episode about sound if we didn't include at least one bird song. In my neighborhood specifically, but really in Rome, anywhere these days, the sound of parrots has become so common. It was once such a rare thing, but parrots have really taken over the center and the outskirts of Rome. So this is a sound that I do hear quite frequently. But even though it's become pretty common, I still, every time I hear it, look up into the sky and try to find the parrot who is making this sound because they are just so beautiful. I have officially found the name of this type of bird. It is a monk parakeet, but because it is springtime and our balcony is full of plants and apparently these parakeets are making their nests, every so often they fly really, really close to my balcony. Not usually, but every so often. And the other day, one was actually trying to get some little branches off of one of my plants. And of course, I walked outside and he flew away right away. But I finally saw one really, really close, just a few feet from me. And they are really big. They don't look like what I would expect a little tiny parakeet would look like, the kind you would find in a little pet shop. They're really the size of parrots, and I would say about a foot long, including the tail feathers. After a pretty uneventful morning, it is now one of my favorite moments of the day, the moment when I have my breakfast. And as I've talked about with Katie in the past, I tend to put off breakfast as late in the day as possible because I love it so much. I look forward to breakfast so much that I find it easier to get through some of those early morning tasks that are maybe not the most pleasant if I know I have my breakfast to look forward to. It's also the moment of the day that is 100% for me, that I don't allow myself to be interrupted. If I can manage it, I have breakfast when no one else is home, because I don't want anyone even talking to me while I'm having my breakfast. And so that is what I have done today. Everyone is gone. It's almost 12 o'clock, and I'm about to have my tea. Now, ever since Italy went into lockdown and I stopped having to go into the office every day and subsequently started working from home on a pretty much permanent basis, as I am still today, I have tried to up my tea game. I decided it's time to make sure I'm doing it right. There is a pretty big gap between dunking a tea bag into a pot of boiling water and sort of making a ritual out of it. So I try to make a ritual out of this moment of my day, boiling the tea to the perfect temperature, and I use loose tea. I pour the boiling water into a teapot that I have that has a little infuser inside of it, and I stir it up. Unfortunately, my tea kettle bit the dust. Tea kettles, they are just so hard to find here. So I still haven't got my new tea kettle yet. So I'm having to boil the water in a little aluminum pitcher. It definitely does not give you that lovely whistling sound, which I really would have loved to include here. My tea routine now also includes the essential step of heating up the milk. I never knew how important this was until I started doing it. It really makes a difference. But you have to watch it. And let me tell you, I have made this mistake so many times, and I continue to make this mistake, that I will leave my little tiny little metal pitcher of milk on my stove and go run and do something, and it inevitably boils over because milk boils so fast, and it is very messy when it does. I've learned that lesson the hard way. Still learning that lesson. Oh, that is so good. That is so good. Well worth the wait. I'm on my way to pick Aurelio up from school. He's doing something a little bit special this afternoon because he goes to Catholic school, and because in Italy Catholic schools are very Catholic. Every afternoon in May, which is the month dedicated to the Virgin Mary, the kids of the school all get together in the courtyard at the end of the day, and each class, one class per day of the week, so today is Aurelio's class day, they do a number of prayers, and then they do the Hail Mary. They do a rosary. So each child says the Hail Mary one time, the Ave Maria. So I will record Aurelio doing his little Ave Maria.
Ave Maria, piena di grazia, il Signore è con te. Tu sei benedetta fra le donne, e benedetto il frutto del seno tuo, Gesù. Santa Maria, Madre di Dio, prega per noi peccatori, adesso è nell'ora della nostra morte. Amen.
Aurelio is now home from school, so my quiet time is officially over for the day. But that is okay because I now get to hear some beautiful music. Beautiful being definitely a biased adjective that I'm using as Aurelio's mom, because the music is Aurelio practicing the piano. He has his very first piano recital coming up in a couple of weeks, and so he has been practicing very hard, and I'm very proud of him. And there you have it, a compendium of the simple and quotidian sounds of my day. And like everyone else who participated in our Sounds You Love episode, I have found myself, particularly today, listening for all the sounds that I might hear. My ears have been extra sharp. And one major thing that I've noticed, my neighborhood is so noisy. There are so many lawnmowers and car alarms and scooters passing by at every moment of the day. I don't think I noticed that yesterday, but today it's driving me crazy. But nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed this little auditory peek into my day. Thanks so much for listening. This has been your midweek Bittersweet Moment.
If you love the show, take a moment to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We love to read while you listen, and your rating might help someone else discover the show. Take just a couple of minutes to let the world know what you think of this show. It means the world to us. Thanks.